Land. Now let's get over to talking about the Broncos. Now, with the Broncos, it's like a completely new team this year, almost like an expansion team, I'd say. I mean, they've totally revamped almost every facet of the team that was there last year. New head coach Josh McDaniels, new defensive coordinator Mike Nolan, who used to coach the Niners, but we won't go there because he didn't leave a very good mark. But so, along with those two coaches, there's also new offensive coordinator and other staff that went out the door when Mac Shanahan left. And also on the defensive side of the ball, the Broncos were pretty active in free agency, and they brought in quite a lot of players, actually on both sides of the ball. We'll start on the offensive side, where Kyle Orton is now the starter. I said it in my last episode. I think he's going to start out slow, but once he hits his stride, hopefully it doesn't take too long for him to get there. But once he hits that stride, it's going to be on and cracking because he's got a lot of people to get the ball to. Notably running back. I mean, the Broncos are pretty crowded in a running back field. Noshawn Moreno is their first pick. We'll see how his playmaking ability skills come out and how they translate from the college to the pro game. But they've got some solid people behind them, Corell Buckhalter, and one of my favorites on the Broncos, Peyton Hillis. I mean, this guy is pretty versatile too. He runs with reckless abandon. He can catch out of the backfield. He blocks like a fullback. I mean, they just need to keep this guy on the field because he's going to make plays for them. And then at the wide receiver spot, Brandon Marshall. Yeah, he's a knucklehead, but it sounds like he's going to report and he's going to play, which I hope he does at 100% because he's a force to be reckoned with. And as long as Brandon Marshall's on the field, that's going to draw attention away from the other players that we have out there as well. Eddie Royal is a rookie last year. He's a pleasant surprise, and I don't think he was I don't think he'll have a sophomore slump this year. Eddie Royal seems pretty solid. He's quick. He runs good routes. He's got good hands. He's another playmaker. You just want to get the ball in his hands. And Jabbar Gaffney, he used to be with the Patriots last year. Not sold on this guy, but he's going to be the number 4. He's not going to have to do a whole lot. Brandon Stokely, he's also a pretty good guy with good hands, runs good routes. So our Orton definitely does have a lot of people to get the ball to. He just needs to get acclimated to the offense, and like I said, from there it's going to be on. On the defensive side of the ball, the defense have definitely been suspect for the last few years. Bringing in Mike Nolan as a D coordinator is definitely going to help. He's not going to make dramatic improvement in one single year. But if you remember, before Mike Nolan got picked up by the Niners, he coached the Baltimore Ravens, and they had a shutdown defense that helped them get to and win the Super Bowl. So it's definitely going to improve the defense. It's not going to be a huge improvement. Their linebacking core, DJ Williams is the star there, and that guy also is a tackling machine. He seems to be in a lot of plays. Champ Bailey at the cornerback position, he's shut down. You don't throw it Champ Bailey's way, so that's gonna open up at least the other side of the field. We'll see how the other side cornerback does. Whoever ends up starting there, I think they got Andre Goodman, and we'll see if Alfonso Smith eventually cracks into the starting lineup with Champ there. And on the D line, we'll see how they do. Preseason, it looked like they were getting a lot of sacks. They were getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And that was one of the positions that I was worried about. But if they play like they did in the preseason, then good things are going to happen on the defensive side of the ball. They're not going to be as bad as they were last year. I think they were like one of the last 2 teams in defensive statistics up there in the 30s. There's only 32 teams, but this year, they're going to improve and they're going to help that team out. The thing with the Broncos that I'm excited about is the whole new everything that they've got. There's a big question mark on how that's going to translate. Josh McDaniels seems to be a headstrong coach. He got rid of Cutler because he was being a crybaby. And, he's going to run that team the way he wants to run that team. So we'll see how everything translates, all those changes. As a Broncos fan, I'm always optimistic. They got to compete with the Chargers with that top spot there. That's pretty much it. The Chiefs and the Raiders, they're gonna play good games against those two. But if the Broncos can get above the Chargers, then maybe they get to the playoffs. So hopefully we'll get to see, or hopefully I'll get to see, both the Niners and the Broncos in the playoffs this year. I do realize that there is a long shot for both sides to get into the playoffs. Both teams are on the up. They're both in improvement mode. Neither one of them can be considered a powerhouse, but they do have their strengths. Unfortunately, they also have their weaknesses. Well, that's all I've got for you guys today. I appreciate you watching again. This is JMillzNFLTalk. As always, I'm going to ask that you please subscribe. Please shoot me a comment, shoot me an email, jmillsnfltalk@gmail.com. Shoot me some ideas if you want me to talk about something. I'm always going to need some ideas of what I can talk about on my next show. Which leads me to talk about what my next show is going to be about. I've picked the Patriots to take it all the way to the Super Bowl. I think they're going to be unstoppable. So it's a matter of who's going to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl. That's what my next show is going to be about. All right, y'all. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.